But yeah,
The button is hit.
After looking at how that
Unscripted.
went, looking back on how that shoot went back 3 years ago or whatever, and looking how yesterday
We
went.
could do it better
I had,
now,
like, the
obviously.
same amount of people basically, and I was essentially the director again. Definitely came a long way. You know what I mean? In terms of like,
long
like you
way.
said earlier, like commanding the group and stuff like that. Meaning like do this, do that. Because like a lot of these people were peers. A lot of them were a lot older. Like I had somebody's aunt in there last night, and I was like, she was just looking at me. I'm just like, all right, like I'm gonna just do this.
What to do?
And she was about it. Like, and it got a lot more simple as time went on.
I think when people see how serious you are, and they're like, yeah, like that you're not messing around. Like you're like, yeah, they're like, okay, like.
And I think that's the beauty of kind of how not only it's evolved in this new era of like computers and like everybody can kind of pick up multiple roles, but also just the evolution. We were saying on the show, if you guys haven't checked that out, go check it out. But the evolution of kind of from a craft or a hobby into more of this business-minded focus of like this shit is
but you
we're
can't
here for
lose
work.
that hobby, that craft
Yeah,
feeling
man.
though.
That's fun
That's
of
the
it.
thing,
Yeah,
man.
like-
I've been talking to these guys about it a lot. Like that's one reason why I didn't want to take photography or any type of creative stuff into a business aspect to make money, because I take stuff too seriously, man. Take all the fun out of it, man. It's not. I get to a point where I start hating it because I'm like, I gotta go edit these photos, or I gotta edit this or whatever, and I don't really want to do it no more. I don't want to go shoot because of the pressure. But I mean, you gotta find a balance where it's like a matter
And I
of.
think that's where it comes into like you pick and choose. Like there's so many opportunities.
say no.
Yeah, I mean there is a lot of opportunities. Maybe not necessarily opportunities to like make a bunch of money off of, but there's if you look in the right places, there's opportunities to kind of find these different projects and pick and choose which one. Hey, I fuck with this homie. That's the homie working on his shit. Let me help him with that. You know what I mean? And that's kind of, I know what I've been doing. Ashton does it. You guys are all we all kind of do that now.
You gotta be
that's
selective.
Yeah, that's the new.
Because I mean, your name is on it at the end of the day,
Exactly.
and that's kind of
Yes.
like where I'm coming from. Like, I think one of the main reasons I even get booked for a lot of stuff is just like the quality of what I'm doing. Like a lot of times, it's not even like I'm doing anything crazy. It's just like, look how clear it is and how the colors
standard.
look. So, yeah, so it's
the
like
standard.
I mean, I feel like you should have that same standard, like with who you working with.
Yeah,
That's
and then
gonna reflect what you do.
Can I want to put this out there, and I don't know if this is us officially rolling or not.
Yeah.
It is. I said Daze Unscripted. Yes.
Oh, yeah, Daze
We're
Unscripted.
rolling. I'm sipping lick.
People really need to an extent. The gear you use matters.
Yeah.
The gear you use matters.
Yeah.
But
To an
and
extent.
this is me coming from the audio realm.
Yeah.
When people be like, "Oh, well, what boards you got?" or like, "What mics and stuff like that," and it's like, "Hey, I want you to take a step back and understand that, like, I'm just really good at what I do.
Yeah.
That's number one.
Right.
And all this is secondary. Do I like how a Behringer mixer sounds? Like, not necessarily, but I know how to do my thing. Do I know how Allen and Heath sound? Do I know how the Yamaha sound? Yeah. Do I know how these mics sound? Yes. I took time to understand what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So
You learn the limitations and the capabilities of the equipment first.
Yeah.
Because even
And again-
high-end equipment got limitations.
Exactly.
And that's the difference between the craft and, you know what I mean? So, especially nowadays, music, you know what I mean, rapping, everything related to what we kind of do has been more popularized. They see the value in it. A lot of people see the money, the business focus of it. But like, again, if you're not kind of taking it with that approach of like, if I stay in this and time will tell and I learn and gain all these different understandings,
Yeah.
then through that, it becomes kind of in between that lane of like, hey, it's still a craft. It's still something I do for fun. But it's like,
Right.
I've gained so much value and knowledge and understanding from it that it's like more of this business approach. I'm a library. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
It's a
that's how we
process.
must move forward.
But you gotta be able to embrace those moments, you know what I mean, where you have, like you said, like these people that come in and kind of base you off of whatever equipment you got, or even run into a situation where you got like in my situation, you got a group of people who you didn't really know how to like command a room, really, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You gotta learn from that experience and learn how to get better at it, even when it comes to the post stuff. You know what I mean? If you're dealing with something, you come into a shitty shooting situation, you know what I mean, where you have to
Yes.
try and edit something in the post, and you're like, man, this is trash, and there's nothing I can do with it. But this person insisted on shooting in this place with this way. I told them they had no light. I told them that I couldn't see their face. You know, I run into that stuff all the time, and that's part of the reason why I don't like doing it.
Somebody booked me to do. I ain't gonna say what they booked me to do.
Don't
But
do it.
basically, I ended up shooting most of it in the dark, and it was just like the background was lit, but the person was literally just
Silhouette.
black.
Yeah.
Silhouette.
And I'm like, what do you want me to do with
Yeah,
this?
yeah.
But hey, you know what I'm saying? I made that little video, sent it over, got my money.
Yeah, you got do what you gotta do.
I
My
ain't put my logo on it.
My other thing is this though. When it comes to craft, a lot of it is your people skills. And one thing that I learned in EPAW, even growing up, the A in EPAW is for attitude is everything. And literally, if you come into any professional situation with a stank ass attitude, I'm not gonna be rocking with you.
Yeah.
You need to come to work, ready to work, with a good attitude, and ready to do things, and ready to compromise, even if it ain't the thing that you want to do. Because the goal in mind is the end goal and the vision of what's happening here. So ego needs to be put aside, pride needs to be put aside, and you need to come in with a good attitude, even if you ain't feeling it today. Because we human.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's been on a shoot and he wasn't feeling it that day.
Man.
You probably been on a shoot and you wasn't feeling it that day.
Yeah.
I walked up into a venue to whether I'm either hosting or I'm running sound, and I'm not feeling it that day. But I'm here to get
gotta
work
get it
done.
done.
Yeah.
I'm here to get work done. I'm sure AT has been working on a beat and working with an artist, and he not feeling it that day.
Yeah.
He want to stream, but he not feeling it that
AT
way.
the type to curse or shit if he ain't feeling it though. You like to tell them niggas to leave. Like get out the house.
All right,
But,
guys, that's the end of the
Willie,
session.
I think your point is very,
But I
is
feel
very
you 100%
crucial.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
It's very
Yeah.
crucial to like whether you know
Being
what I
a
mean?
likable
Some days,
person gets you really far. Like
Oh,
I've
yeah,
seen
yeah.
people who were completely unqualified for things, but because they were the person that people just like being around and they just trusted
Yeah.
them, they got the gig.
100%, man. Even when it comes
And
to like the
that's-
stuff like being able to direct the situation, people don't respect you on a personal level.
Yeah.
They're not about to listen to you or do what you want them to do. If you're not being respectful to them or you're not being, you know what I mean, cool about it, you know what I'm saying? So it is a process, you know what I'm saying, to find that balance when trying to deal with people in the creative aspect, because you're trying to a lot of stuff, it comes with like you said, putting your ego at the door, man, because
Yes.
you gotta be able to take feedback, especially when you're dealing with a lot of people, when you're dealing with on a creative situation, when you have an idea or an imaginative situation. Some people might not like it, you know, they may have some feedback for it, and you got to be able to take like, oh, you may not like my creative idea here, you know what I mean, but like we got to be able to take feedback and compromise, like you said, because everything is not perfect, especially when you're dealing with this many people on a set like that. So
and I think Willie's point is very crucial. I mean, to the development of every individual as far as what we try to do in the service lane, where it's like you kind of have to understand. I mean, I know we talked about connection on the show, but this is another point of connections where it's like you kind of have to have these strong connections and build people and get them on the same page.
Yes.
So when you do have those bad days, at least, hey, I came here, we're on the same page and we have the same end goal. Again, we have that same end goal. So no matter how I'm feeling, I have the capabilities to at least make it work.
Understood, yeah. And one thing, like when my granddaddy was living, he used to sing this song called "I Won't Complain." And when I talk to old people a lot of times, like, "Well, how you doing today?" They're like, "Well, I can't complain." And as I get older, I understand, like, you know, you probably could complain about a lot of things, but it ain't gonna make anything better.
Nope.
So what you need to do right now is put your pride and ego to the side, put on your good attitude outfit,
done.
and get it
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
Because there are things that you are destined to complete, accomplish, move forward, and it depends on you. Because maybe you are that person that has been ordained for that. Maybe you are that person who has been in that position, and you may be totally unqualified, just how Ashton was talking about. But the fact of the matter is, you're in that position for a reason, and you're supposed to move that forward for a reason. So whatever you have been ordained to do, or whatever you have been put in position to do, you need to just do it. Just how Nike say it, you know, you need to just keep it moving forward. So that's
Make it
just
work.
what I'm saying right
Willie
there.
preaching.
Make it work.
Before we get too deep, let's touch on the album of the week real quick.
That Nav album.
Album of the week.
Tsunami Warning. Nav, Wheezy. I keep saying Nav. I don't know why I keep calling him Nav. He ain't that fancy.
Like navigation.
Nav.
Not hit.
Nav and Wheezy
and
album.
Wheezy.
You have
Entire
to listen
album
to the
produced
Nav
by
album.
Wheezy. How many tracks was that? What was it, like 11? Something like that?
Yeah, and then the bonus one I think had more.
And it was like, what, 36 minutes long, something like
was
that?
38, yeah.
30 something. Okay. Any favorite tracks off of that? You know, I feel like personally, off any like standout, like any opinions of the album off rip?
Go ahead.
Okay. Again, we did it again. It's another Wheezy. I think shines the hardest
Yeah.
production wise. Wheezy
Production,
I
great.
mean, Weezy just has this feeling about his production that just makes me want to just kick a door down. Just gives me, it's energy. It's pure energy, bro, off his beats. So salute to Weezy.
Yes.
Yeah.
On the Nav side, I mean, again, there's a few tracks. I feel like he's got the one track. I really like Saw Baby. I don't know why, but I like his vibe, his voice. Saw Baby, I forget the name of the track. I like that track. Mm-hmm. And maybe the other track is the Gunna track I like as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go, Willie.
Production, great.
Yes.
Nas flow, great. Every song.
Oh, not is it? Don't
No,
do
no,
that.
It's like
I like that.
it's like robotic though.
Yeah, I get
Like,
it. I get it. But it fits what he's doing. But every song was just a song about the same thing. Every track. And I did want to be the one to say it.
Clearly.
This man made an album of one song. This man made an album of one. You made an album
Hey, the Migos
of one
been doing
song.
it.
I understand.
Your baby been doing it.
You ever hear somebody say, "Hey man, we
understand.
get 10 of those, we got an album."
But that's what I'm saying. Like it's also the whole like Weezy like and I mean Weezy as in Wayne, not Weezy producer.
Okay,
but like
okay.
the whole like would be cool. We put Drake on every hook. Yes, Drake on this hook sounds great. Maybach Music loved him on that hook, but I don't want Drake on every hook either.
Yeah.
So like my whole thing is like now I've made an album of one song. Beats great. I even like Dude's flow. Really good. I rocked with it. Bonus version, cool. But like I got halfway through it, I'm like, yo, if this dude talk about getting money one more time, or if he talking about like bending over a chick one more time, like how many times, bro? Like, and it's like, yeah, and then like talking about getting a Patek Philippe, which like rappers call like a Patek for some weird reason. Or it's like that's not actually how you say. It's not Patek, y'all.
They got to say Patek so it can rhyme.
Patek Philippe. I guess I don't know, but it's like stop mispronouncing watches then. And then like dude talking about he got a Birkin. I'm like, yo, we get it. You getting money, fam. I love getting money songs. I do. I love getting money songs. But like,
and I think that would be my main critique of Nas.
Yes!
He hasn't evolved. He hasn't found how to evolve.
Okay, so I'll go. Okay, so
I get that though.
So personally, I honestly expected Nav to take a step forward. I talked to him about this. I was like, look at the features. He working in the studio with Young Thug, you know what I mean, with Gunna. These are some people that are known for kind of pushing themselves forward as they move forward through time and trying to sticking with the trends and stuff like that. And honestly, getting to a point where they can grow musically and touch their audience at some point. So I'm looking at it like, okay. First of all, the amount of features, the ratio kind of bothered me at first because
why?
Because I think there were more features than not on there, and that always bothers me when it comes to somebody dropping something because it feels like it's not necessarily them; it's more so influences, more so you know what I mean. It's just the influence coming in, so so that's kind of where I was at. Like with Big Sean's album Detroit 2, I was not to like throw him under the bus, a lot of features. It was crazy. It was like.
But here's the thing: his features were like lackluster. Like they weren't what I wanted from the feature.
It was honestly I don't want to go.
In what regard?
Let's not talk about the Big Sean.
I don't want to do this. Okay, hold on. Let's talk about Big Sean. We'll talk about him in a minute, man. But we'll go back into Nav. Personally,
he can rap. He's just not a good artist.
And that's two different things, though.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So with Nav though, shout again. I'll third this. Shout out to Weezy. Dude is definitely getting in his bag. He getting ready to. I'm excited to see how he does with other artists. You know what I mean?
Again, I've been saying. I said it a few weeks back. We need more.
I would love to see him get some ownership.
One producer sitting down. Yeah.
I would love to see him get some ownership, like Metro and who else?
Yeah.
Who else? Somebody else did another album recently. Where it was
they
like,
finally got their
it was
masters?
a collab. It was like a collab album.
21
Madlib, Madlib,
Hit
Alchemist.
Boy.
You know what I mean with the Freddie Gibbs tapes. You know what I mean.
Hit Boy.
Hit Boy as well. Like I want to see more producers get their dues because Weezy didn't. I didn't feel like he told me it was a whole thing produced by Weezy. I had to look on the album cover for it. You know what I mean? And
the drops at the beginning of every track.
I feel it, but like it's not the same as saying like
not shining
Nav
the light
and
on them.
Weezy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Metro and Savage like.
And it's about like having nowadays, obviously we know in the catalog and how streaming platforms work, it's about having your name kind of in the same category as the artist's name. So it pops up on both catalogs.
So in this case, you see people like Metro, people like Alchemist and Madlib getting a lot more respect in general, building their own personal brands because they're able to put their name right next to the artist. There is no You don't have to listen to the drop. You know what I mean? The drop is something that you cling on to, but you don't half time you don't really listen to what they really saying. You know what I mean? So I just want to see Weezy do more in the future. I'm excited to see him. I'm low key disappointed in Nav. I was one of Nav's biggest I don't know what the word is, like unsupporters for a long time. I wanted him to do more. I always felt like he was something he was someone that was selling himself short.
Critic.
What?
I'm checking the credits
Oh,
right
yeah.
now. I mean, Weezy is on
Every track?
every
The
track
last
on the
song.
credits.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
On
yeah.
the credits,
But I
they
see
know
what you're
that.
saying. It's the visibility.
It's not his own. It's not his
Yes.
own brand. I think we were talking about this earlier in the week. I feel like it comes down to them owning their own masters and stuff like that as producers. You know what I mean? Owning their work individually. So I don't know how that goes. Again, I'm not like super well versed. Yeah, exactly. So I would love to see these younger producers, people like Weezy, even people like Zaytoven. I'm not sure if Zaytoven has the same thing because he doesn't have anything like that either. But he's well connected. So why
Like
not?
when
you know?
didn't Zaytoven? No, it wasn't Zaytoven, but it was somebody. It was you said what?
Mike Will.
No, Usher did a collab joint album with somebody, but I can't remember.
It might have been Zaytoven, but his name
Was
wasn't
it?
on it.
No, his name was on it.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I don't know.
But like
It was
that's
Usher
where,
and Zaytoven.
yeah, that's where you get. No, it wasn't. But it wasn't Zaytoven. It was another. I think it was a different Atlanta producer.
But back to Nav really quick so we can get hammer this out. I do feel like Nav has a lot more room to grow. I don't know how much longer he'll last making this type of music and
He's with XO though. To his credit, he is
It
with
was
XO.
Zaytoven.
He is with The Weeknd. I think in history, and we'll I don't know if Nav will go down, but I feel like
is he gonna end up like a
part of-
what's his name? Dude that did the Tuesday song.
McConan.
Is he gonna end up like him, bro? Because his songs they get to a point where like the tone, it's not even like the flow, it's like the tone of his voice. Like you said, it sounds look-y robotic. Where's the feedback in the booth? Like who's
They
being
got
like,
Yes
this is
Men
it?
in the studio.
That's
They
not
got
okay.
but
Yes
he's
Men in
working.
the
You know what I
studio.
mean?
But,
Like
some
that,
people don't
and
know
that's
that.
back to his crew. He's on XO.
He's making money, but still,
He's
like
got
I'm looking
Weeknd
at that,
and the
like
other dude.
I doubt Weeknd is hands on like that. You know what I mean? This dude might only be on EXO because he is from the same place of the planet that Weeknd is from, and he also Canadian. You know what I mean? That may be the only reason why he there. Like I'm gonna put you on because you know your family, like whatever. Like I don't know. But I don't
No,
think
you raised a good point.
I don't think The Weeknd is very hands on with his music though. I just gotta say
We
that.
have no idea. Yeah.
I don't know if The Weeknd. I don't know, man. I don't know what The Weeknd situation is. But the thing is with Nav, I feel like he underperformed. I feel like next album he'll need to perform in order to save his career. Honestly,
So we'll make it a better album then for you.
we'll make a better album. To Will's point, a lot more
Diversity.
diversity,
In terms of, like,
exactly.
just subject matter.
Not necessarily subject
matter,
matter, but
yeah.
in terms of like delivery as well. It's like the same. That's the thing that it gets me. It's like the same exact delivery every time.
You think it's the same song for real?
I need some
I mean, yeah.
diversity.
But I think that might be even just a part of like the new music culture. Like people kind of
Yeah.
almost expect you to make the same song over and over.
Yeah.
Like,
But there's
the
people that
Baby-
do it well.
the
Hold up
Baby
and stop
been
at I
doing
drop.
that. But like he knew that. He knew like what he was doing with
But
making the same song.
he also got to a point where he evolved.
the
You
new
know what I
album
mean?
doesn't really sound
'Cause-
like everything else.
You know what I mean? So
so
even in the Baby's point, he got to a point. He was self-aware enough to understand this is not working anymore. It's becoming a
Yeah.
meme. I'm becoming a meme because I'm
Yeah.
making the same music. All
It's the
time.
designer problem too, where like designer
Yeah.
ended up sounding the same. Like we like the Timmy Turner joint. We like,
But I like Future more.
yeah,
And
know
I
what
think
mean?
I think that's back to Ashton's point. That is kind of that new culture where it's like people kind of expect you to stay in that box.
it's like
you know
being
what I mean?
typecast, but for music.
But there's people that do it well
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's people
Yeah.
that are able to do it well
Like,
and
play
and
your
keep
role.
diversity and so stretch their legs a little bit. Like Nas, even Lil Nas X was able to do that. You know what I mean? With some of his stuff, he didn't have to stay in that same box. You know,
that new video crazy.
he was able to start
And-
branching out and being like, "This is what I really want to do, and I'm gonna do it because
And
I have
then-
your eyes on me. But I'm gonna use this as promo."
And you see the hate both sides. So it's essentially like a lose-lose because if you stay the same, people are gonna comment on that obviously, like, oh, he can't change up, he can't evolve. If you switch up and it's not quality
They
enough,
won't either.
But that's the thing, though. That's
But-
on you.
But Kanye's dealt with that. Kanye's dealt with like
Yes.
switching himself up, and people didn't like. I remember when 808s and Heartbreaks came out. Like people
Exactly.
hated that
Remember when
album.
Yeezy came out?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeezus came out. That was a whole different situation, bro. People were.
But like it was like literally after 808s and Heartbreaks, like almost every album sounds completely
Yes.
different.
My
Yes.
Beautiful Dark
Controversial.
Twisted Fantasy still one
Best
like
album.
probably my
Yes.
favorite.
Yes,
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
But to
I
compare
think-
to his first three installations between College Dropout, Late Registrations, and Graduation, those three are in the same realm. After that, You know what I mean?
Nothing, yeah.
But also,
And
you think
that's-
about everything that happened outside of that, though, that forced him to switch. You know, I mean, I think he was going on a video shoot for Homecoming when he found out that his mama passed. So, it's like in the middle of dropping graduation, all these things that happened. So the shift should have forced that way. But you look at other artists, though, he wasn't forced by the industry to shift. Kanye was perfectly happy in that pocket.
Kanye could have totally just stayed in that pocket.
In hip hop.
But he wouldn't be where
He
is.
could have,
didn't
but
switch
eventually people would have said he needed to evolve. That's that's why I say
after like 5 Soul Sample albums,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
probably gonna be like, all right,
Yeah, I feel
How many times do you want to hear Chipmunk up pitch?
So
on
I
a
mean,
song?
so you look at people look at artists like Cole and Kendrick. All right,
And y'all know one of my biggest gripes earlier about Cole was like, yo, this dude just keeps making the same thing. Yo, he dropped a KOD joint, and what did I say to you? I was like,
KOD
yep.
was nasty.
I was like, yes.
and he
I was
started,
like, yes.
and then again with the For Your Eyes Only, he's like he started switching up each album.
He could have
Same-
kept
Yeah.
For Your Eyes Only.
Same with he could have, but I feel like that was a situation going
No,
on.
no,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
same-
know. He
but-
released it for other reasons.
But you look at Kendrick though, every album,
Every album.
every single album. You look
Every
at
album.
To Pimp a Butterfly was what it was jazz inspired. You look at
Yeah.
Damn,
Monty Washington
Damn
on
wasn't.
Come on, I see terrorists.
I think the next
Robert
album I believe
Glasper,
is
Thundercat.
rumored to be rock inspired.
Yep.
And I'm really looking forward to see how he does with that because you see his live performances of a lot of his untitled unmastered tracks, and you see it have like the sense of like a rock vibe when he
but I'm
performs it
wondering
live.
how well they're gonna pull that off because like his main producer is Terrace Martin. And he's
Yeah.
like a jazz dude and
Yeah.
like R&B. So I'm like, I wonder how this rock thing, or if maybe he's pulling in
He
different
pulling
producers.
in different people, and that's what I respect about Ye. And I'm gonna bring it back to Ye, but it's for real quick.
Ye
I
low-key
think
the
Ye
gold
is best when
standard.
he's playing executive producer.
Yeah.
Ye don't need to touch beats no more.
Yo,
He
man.
needs to put the people together.
It was in
and I
Jamaica.
think
Speaking of which, he was in Jamaica recently, he's chilling with some pretty well-known artists, and
Yeah.
AT just let me know Masego is about to drop or just dropped, and Masego was one of those artists that Kanye was chilling with in the studio down in Jamaica. So I'm really looking forward to hearing Masego's tracks and
St.
seeing
John as well.
and
was
St.
there
John
too.
as well.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm
And
looking,
That's
think
why I'm
Masego was a good
interested. This St.
saxophonist.
John project next week is going to be something serious.
yeah, I agree.
Why you laughing, Ashton?
I just don't think Masego's that great of a saxophonist, but
Okay.
that's just me.
I don't think that he's trying to be. either.
No,
I
yo,
do.
Ashton got him on
Really?
the
I
sax.
do, yeah.
Because
He trying to
I
paint
would
it
look
like that,
because
right?
I would look at him
Every
differently if I
video.
thought
That's
that.
like a thing for
He's trying to
him, like-
paint it
Every
like he's
video,
like a
yes.
saxophonist.
Yeah, like that was kind of the thing when he first came out. He was a saxophonist,
But he ain't that
really.
good though.
And then he became a vocalist, kind of. So,
But no,
at
and
least that's
to
how I
Ashton's-
was introduced to him. Was more of a
And
saxophonist.
to Ashton's point, he brings it out every video. I just watched the Shensia
And I just
Masego
don't
video.
think he's that great.
Okay, and I
Ashton
feel
No,
can
I never
watch
thought
him.
he was that great. But I never
Ashton
thought that was
can
a
watch
thing.
him on the sax.
but people do put that on his credit, like, oh, he plays sax, he
Sax,
cold on the
yeah.
sax. But you know, of course, AV like
Ashton
no.
But I
saying
think
he
it's
can
different when you
wax
do
him.
the thing too.
Yeah.
It's
Fair.
different when you
Yeah.
do the thing
It's
because you're
perspective.
looking at it
It's
differently.
perspective. Same
Yep.
thing with singers, and they like, man, she can't really sing like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, she famous.
To this day, like, because people be like, "Oh, Janae Aiko," I'm like, she can't sing.
She just be in there vibing.
Yeah.
she just,
I heard
they
her.
sing- She just like,
Yeah, she be, but she is a vibe.
exactly.
You know what I'm
That's her
saying?
energy.
But
That's
if,
her
if,
energy.
if anybody was just like, "Oh yeah, her voice," I'm like, no. But I love Janae Aiko's music. Like I do.
Yo, yeah.
What were you saying before we got on the Masego joint?
Oh, I don't remember, bro.
Yeah,
I
my
just
bad,
be
my
at,
bad.
I be at 1,000 miles an hour.
So-
you know what I'm saying?
You gotta slow
You
your
gotta
ass
catch him. You
down.
gotta catch him while he's there. You can't tell him to come back.
Yeah, just like I want you to reel it back into the point. What point?
No, I feel it, though.
I was talking.
Slow
I
it
was
down,
talking.
Willie.
So
B.
I mean,
slow it down.
so you look at people like Rick Rubin. All right, people always wonder what his position is. What is he doing?
He's
Why-
executive producing.
So you think like someone like him? He's
he pieces the puzzle together.
Yeah, that's ultimately what I want to do with Black Media. I want to be the Rick Rubin in the room. I want to be the guy. Hey, I don't want to have to program anything. I don't want to have to edit anything. I don't have to shoot anything. But I want to be able to pull the right people around to get.
and
what
that
the
and that
end
was
result
always
is.
my goal too, as far as in the
GM.
music. Like that's always what I tried to do from an early stage, as far as like when I was producing music. Like to me, that's kind of highlights the people at the real top of the music shit have that ear. You know what I mean? Have that ability to bring certain people together and make it happen. And I think that's
I just
the
want to
true
be DJ
example of
Khaled and
that.
just scream my name on everybody's
But you,
stuff.
but you want to know what I think is important
Yeah.
too. Here's another
Fuck it.
thing. Understanding. I don't think everybody that's an artist or producer or whatnot doesn't have to play an instrument. They ain't gotta be a musician. But I think everybody should have an understanding of arrangement. Because if you have an understanding of arrangement, you understand it like, oh, this is playing over top of this, or like these are feuding here. They're not playing nicely together. Or if you're looking for more of like a dissonance, what can I do to make this happen?
Yeah.
And what I thought was really cool about like the revenge sessions was like, it was a bunch of people collabing. But you want to know what? When we got that final product, we got like everything cohesive. Like that was a good product.
It could have easily been really chaotic.
That could have been a train wreck, and people don't understand that.
And the thing is, they had like 200 plus tracks. Yeah, shout out Greenville, shout out Cole,
shout out to
Eve.
the engineers, to Eve,
Yeah.
to everyone that picked the final track listing, because I think a lot of artists, and you know what I mean, I'm working with a bunch of people, as I know you guys are, and some people don't really understand some of those basic elements that kind of go into the simple project of just putting a project out. You know what I mean? Like, it's really just, hey, think about your track list. How do you want these tracks sequenced? Does it make sense? Why does it make sense? Like, people don't ask these. And again, back to your original point that led us on this, Willie, I think that's some of those skills develop over time.
Yes, I agree.
And that arrangement, that whole arrangement, you might not be able to get that at first, but like over time, you essentially find that kind of wave, whether you are the most technically gifted musician, you know what I mean, or you play,
experience, man. Yeah, you gotta put yourself out there. You gotta risk it for the biscuit.
You gotta put in the hours.
Yeah, for real.
Put in the hours.
That's real. Shoot,
y'all got anything else? Unscripted vibes. You know the vibe. No vibes.
No vibe.
Let me stop.
No script. Y'all got anything else you want to talk about though before we
plenty
cap
of
it
vibes.
That was nice.
No, I don't want to go on another rant.
You sure?
I think you got one brewing in you.
No.
One more in them.
Sound like you want to talk about some more artists who just make the same song.
No. That's not what I'm like into today.
You got it.
No, but like I understand that though, because there's one artist that I'm working with. I ain't gonna say that person's name, but that person knows what I'm talking about them. But I was like, we gotta come up with a different idea than you and a woman. Like that has been every video I've done for you, every song I've ever done for you. Like I need you to come up with something else. Like, I mean, it's cool. I make it look cool every time, but we're gonna get tired of it. So like,
we're tired of seeing the same video. Basically.
Yeah. So it's like, making the same song, making the same video. Like, you can get good at doing it, but it's gonna be boring eventually.
Yeah.
Like, you can have a girl that can really make some good fried chicken, but you are gonna. I don't care how much you love fried chicken, y'all.
I love
no chicken talk, bro.
That you can't eat fried chicken for breakfast, lunch,
chicken was
dinner.
on the rider. I didn't get my chicken.
He didn't.
No more chicken.
He said he didn't
no
want
more.
it.
No
I
more
didn't say
chicken
that. I said I
talk.
wasn't hungry. I didn't say I didn't want it.
He said,
chicken
no,
talk
I'm
is
not
banned,
I'm gonna put the
bro.
text on the screen.
Put
too.
it on there. I didn't say don't get the chicken.
I understand that, but you was like, oh, okay,
Willie.
I'm not even hungry for real.
Look, me and my manager gonna have to have a talk later. My manager being
Willie.
me.
What did I tell y'all about talking about chicken on my show?
Look, man.
What's wrong with chicken? You don't eat chicken?
No, this man talking
I
about
love chicken.
He
That's all I
gatekeeping chicken.
normally-
Who gatekeeping chicken?
18,
I'm
man. He's saying we don't know nothing about chicken. So
All right,
we
then
can't
what's the
talk
best
about
chicken? What's the best chicken chain that everybody would know
My
about?
chicken. Oh, I don't know. I can
So you just
Hey,
talking about
AT
you make
just
your
like,
chicken.
I
I'm
make
just saying
chicken. I'm just making jerk chicken. You know the Jamaican vibes, man.
See, you gotta give me a top 3 with your favorite fried chicken chains. If you really
That
get
I would
jerk
have to
chicken
probably
take 2
say
days to make.
Chick-fil-A.
you gotta cook it in the ground if you cooking it right though.
Oh, here you go.
You really got to grind up those seasonings by hand if you making real jerk
You gotta-
chicken.
yeah, if you making real
Oh,
jerk, you
hell
putting it
nah.
underground. You gotta. There's some old black
You
lady
need to
over
sacrifice
there.
your firstborn if you making jerk chicken.
Oh, here you go.
It's wild.
You need
Is that how
a
you
blood
make chicken,
sacrifice.
It ain't that good.
That's how we gonna end the show.
I guess so, man.
What's
We
your
ain't got
chicken?
nothing else to add into it, man.
Chicken. Much love, my people. That is Unscripted for the day.
Yes.
Joined by my brothers Locke and Willie, being our guest for the week, Ashton Blaak. If you haven't already, check the full episode, the regular podcast out, where we talk about connections and kind of enduring those connections and sustaining those connections, and talk about everything Ashton has got going on. But that's our show for today. Until next time, people.
Peace. Stop making the same music, y'all.